Welcome to another episode from Field to Plate. Today, joining in the kitchen is my son Hunter. It's been a year or two since the Father's Day that we did one on. So today, it's obviously not Father's Day, that's past, but we are making one of the things that we love to make together at home, right?
Yep.
What's that?
Pizza.
We love to make pizza, and Hunter is quite good at it. He's a better pizza maker than me. So a few things we're going to do today. We're going to make a pizza that I like, and then sort of make a pizza that Hunter likes both. We're going to do a thin crust on a pizza steel, and I'll explain that a little bit later as we get into that, because right now we got the oven preheated on 500, which is how you do a pizza stone or cast iron. And you leave the, not stone, but steel, and there are different. The stone is some of the bakeware that, like Pampered Chef, different places. This is actually like 1/4-inch steel or cast iron plate that you cook it on. And it gives it that thin, crispy texture, doesn't it, Hunter, that you like in like an oven baked or oven fired pizza. So that's our plan today. And they're preheating, and we'll bring them out later so we can do it. Anyhow, around 45 minutes to an hour is what you want to preheat your iron skillet or your pizza steel when it's in there on 500 degrees. So, Hunter, do you want to make the dough?
Yep.
So we got a basic flour dough. And how much water are we adding to it?
1 cup and 1/4.
1 cup and 1/4. So, and they make different ones. You can buy them out of store, which I did this one. And this is the brand, and it's a dough kit. And you can either use it with yeast, which will make a thicker crust, rise better, or you can add baking powder to it. So we chose baking powder so we wouldn't have to wait 45 minutes to an hour for it to rise and do that. That's just what we chose to do today. And if you can see some of the other great ingredients: tomatoes, pepperonis, fresh Italian sausage, pancetta, artichoke hearts, different kind of mozzarella cheeses. So let's get started. Go ahead. So you can tell them kind of what you're doing as you do it. No, the water. Yeah, we'll use cornmeal later. So I'll go through it as he's doing it. Kindly bring your dough together. This should make a thin crust and a deep dish, and if we have a little more dough left over, we'll either make a personal pan or some breadsticks or something. We always use as much dough as we can and just, make whatever. And you can also make calzones with the same dough and that. So once you get it started mixing together, if you want to tilt it up, you can kind of show it to them. And the fun part comes here in a minute. So what we usually do, you want to knead this several times once you get the water and dough mixed together, and Hunter's getting it there. And by kneading it, I'll show you in a minute what that means. We'll dump it out here on the board. If you want to, Hunter, you can dump it all out. We'll finish it here. So, here, let me help you. You want knead it, or you want me to do it? Me do it. He don't want to get his hands dirty, I see. He's smart. So, anyways, we're going to reuse this bowl in a minute. There ain't no use to get another one out. So, kneading it, and you don't want a wet dough for pizza. By the time you incorporate all the flour and everything else, it won't be wet. And so you just keep kneading it back and forth. And you will get it on your hands. If you want to, you can take some more flour, a little bit of cornmeal or whatever, just to get it on your hands, and it keeps it from sticking to it. So now what we want to do, you open olive oil if you don't care, Hunter. Either one, it don't matter. Okay, put a little bit of olive, just a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. So I always use a little olive oil when it gets to this point. Put a little bit in the bottom of the bowl too if you don't care. This keeps it from sticking somewhat too. So it's about get to where you want to get it to. we're going to put this back in the bowl. And if you don't care there's a piece of plastic there, get it. If you don't mind. So the first steps you want to do, obviously, is to get your pizza pans ready and then get your dough ready. And then we'll move on. The cover right there on top of it, yeah. So you slide it over, saran wrap. Today we had a baggie that goes in the slow cooker. That'll work too. So we're going to put this in here and just set it to the side. We're going to take a really, really quick break so I can get the dough off my hands and clean this cutting board. We'll be right back. The first pizza we're going to actually make is going to be the deep dish because it obviously is going to take longer. A couple Italian sausages is plenty. These fresh. We got them at the local deli, actually Kroger deli. And I'm going to cut one of them and let Hunter. So what we want to do, Hunter, is cut them in about, 3/8 inch slices because you want a bite of it when you get it. You can also crumble it in smaller pieces. So we're going to cut this one. I got the pan on already so we can heat it up and be cooking this. And the reason why I want to pre-cook this because your pizza pretty much when the crust dries brown and the cheese melts, it cooks their pizza be done. And I want to make sure the sausage is cooked, so I always pre-cook it. This Hunter's slicing that, and then I want to start putting the one already cut up in here. And it won't take too long to cook this up. So we'll get that started. And this is going to be more of a meat lovers type pizza. And you cut it on through. Yeah, there you go. Meat lovers type pizza with Italian sausage, pancetta, pepperonis, and cheese. And we'll add a little Italian herbs and garlic to the crust in a minute. And as Hunter's finishing slicing that up, we'll get this started. And you may not want to put all this sausage on there, that's fine. Eat it. You can do something else with it, but try to get two because sometimes one's not hardly enough. So Hunter's got his. We got that turned on high so they'll start cooking. And as our sausage cooks, we'll add our pancetta and let it. Those that likes bacon, you like bacon?
Yep.
Everybody likes bacon. So your pancetta, you can crisp it up, and it's usually more. Well, it's like Italian bacon. Best way to explain it, and it's a little better flavor. And the pizza crust will be ready to go by the time we get all this fried and cooking. So, and it's heating up as we talk. So let's put this over here. We won't use that no more. We're going to flip our cutting board over. And we're actually going to start prepping right now for our next pizza while this is frying. We got some really good small tomatoes. And my favorite pizza don't even really have a lot of veggies or a lot of meat on it. It's a tomato and sliced mozzarella with artichoke hearts. And I'll drizzle a little salt on it when it's done and a little olive oil. So on this one, we're actually going to, and you can use bigger tomatoes. This is just more of a little firm tomato, and it bakes good. So we want them on about, a little less than a 1/4 inch slice. And it won't take too many because we're going to be making like a 12, 14 inch pizza on the first one. And you want to kind of space them out. What's your favorite pizza, Hunter?
Deep dish.
Deep dish. What's your favorite ingredients on it?
Meat and onions, tomatoes, and yeah.
So we'll cut a few more tomatoes for your pizza too. What's some of your favorite things you like to cook?
Pizza and wings.
Wings. I know the one pizzas that you make on the tortilla shells. You want to tell our viewers how you make those, because those are a quick, easy lunch type.
So you get your tortilla shell and you cover it in oil and then whatever spices you want. You put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then you take it out, you put your toppings on it, whatever you want to put on it, and then you put it in for another minute and 30 seconds.
I mean, you're like within 3 or 4 minutes in the microwave, you got a really nice, like diet type pizza that's on a tortilla shell, and they are really, really good. And another thing that I like about it, it's just so darn quick. I mean, you can be at work. Most kitchens at work has a microwave. Throw it in it and be done with it. You can start here in our. If you want to hold this here, you can move it around. You can start here in our sausage cooking, and all we do have a little bit of olive oil in it. So we'll cook it up till it gets about done. That's good. Put it back on the fire. And as soon as it gets close to being done, like I said, we'll add our pancetta. So I think that'll be more than enough tomatoes. And we actually got a good looking cheese. I've never tried it, but Lisa here, actually, when they was out in Washington, they seen the plant or close to it, or the factory. Dairy, yes, the dairy. Because it's a real high quality, made cheese. It's better than most. I think it's killing it. And it's farm style thick cut, and it's really good melting cheese. And when I make a pizza, I like to have a really good melting cheese. It makes a lot better pizza. Anyways, try it out. Like last week's show, we try to get ingredients where you can just go to the store and get it. Nothing shipped in or nothing like that. And this is the same way. All this stuff come from Kroger's. The pizza sauce is made by tomatoes from Italy, crushed, so it's a really good pizza sauce, and it won't break the bank either. The pancetta was from there, sausage was from the deli, mozzarella, that cheese, tomatoes, everything. And I think to make about three really good high quality pizzas, you'll be out about $35 or so, which is, it's not bad at all. You can a whole lot better pizzas than you're going to be getting at Little Caesars or anywhere like that. Just because they're homemade. Now, if you can look at this sausage, and you want to get that brown because it makes it look good. The tops of it, you see that, Hunter, where the tops of it's turning brown, and so it's really good. Another thing that Hunter and his mom cooks quite a bit together is
meatball subbies.
Meatball subbies. And how do y'all make them? I can't hardly remember.
It's croissants, cheese, butter, and Italian seasoning, and meatballs.
And y'all make the meatballs, don't you? Do you know what all y'all put in the meatballs?
Italian seasoning, breadcrumbs, and eggs.
And you just roll them up, and you pre-bake them first?
Oh yeah, you pre-cook them, and then you put them on your croissants, fold it out, and then you put your cheese, your pizza sauce in, and then you fold them back in.
So I know sometimes we cook a lot of looks like fancier, nice stuff on here, but a lot of times we're throwing tortillas in the microwave or doing meatball sub or something quick and easy, because our life at home is like everybody else's life. You're busy, you're coming in late. Sometimes it's bologna sandwich, sometimes it's pickled red hots. You never know. But so try to, and we're going to be cooking some more recipes that's like that. That's real easy to cook, real easy to make, and try to give y'all some different ideas actually when you come home from work and you're not like, man, I want something really good, but I don't want to take 2 hours and spend $80 to make it. So hopefully we'll be doing some more of those. So this sausage is browning up good. I just drop some oil in there. So I'm going to scoot that to one side of the pan. And it's got some real nice brown bits. Smells really great. I'm going to add a pancetta to this side. And we just want to cook it a little bit and get it a little bit brown, and it won't take long on it. And while Hunter was talking to that, Hunter, if you don't care, can you cut these like in quarters? You ought to be able to get 3 for each one. He's going to be working on the artichoke hearts, and I'm going to be browning this up because it won't take long to brown this and have it ready. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, in half. That'd be fine. Just want pieces on it and we'll spread it out. You want, when you're making a thin crust pizza, the key is like how he's cutting it in tomatoes or pepperonis. It only takes just very few minutes for the pizza to be done. So you either want to pre-cook some of the stuff or have it thin enough where it heats up pretty quick and easy on that. And so that's what we're doing right here. You can see this while Hunter's cutting that. We're about where we want to be at with it. Smells good in here. And that's what's crazy about pizzas, isn't it, Hunter? That, by the time you get everything done, you throw them in the oven in a few minutes, you're eating. But there are a lot of little steps up to that. We got our veggies about ready. Pepperoni's there, sauce that. The meat's really cooked through. So when we come back, we're going to be getting the dough back out, putting it in our pan, and then we'll start on the pizzas, okay? So, welcome back. We're going to put a little cornmeal on the counter, and that just keeps your flour or your dough from sticking. No big deal. It won't hurt the crust. You won't taste it. Won't affect it by no means. So we had our dough setting for a little bit, and it's all come together now. And we're going to make a couple pizzas. So I'm actually going to take about a little more than half of the dough. I didn't cut in on the counter, so it does look like a butcher block, but I didn't. So we're going to set this back on our plastic and just wrap it up. Set it to the side. We're actually ready to assemble this pizza. So I'm going to just reverse back here and get our iron skillet out of here. One that we're going to use for this pizza. And it is extremely hot. And I usually do this, and you'll hear it sizzle when you drop it in there. And that's what you want. So you want to work quickly with this. And if your iron skillet's good, this will fall out when it's done, I promise. So if you want your little bit of edge crust, just make it while you're doing it right here. Just like that right there. Hunter, open the olive oil if you don't care. So what we normally do at this step is put a little olive oil on it. That's good. Take a brush, spread it out on top. Okay. I add a little garlic powder. Give it flavor. And some Italian seasoning. This just gives your crust a little extra flavor when you bite into it. And you can also incorporate this into your crust if you want to. Whenever you're ready. This goes back into the oven for like 5-10 minutes just to cook our crust a little bit till we put the. So while we're cooking that one, we'll go ahead and actually just make the thin crust one right now. Get it ready to go. So we move that back. We're going to put a little more cornmeal on here because this one liable to stick a little more. If you had, and I don't have one, but I want to get one, it's a wooden pizza paddle. And what's good about that is if you want to do this, you can put your paddle down, do your pizza on, put cornmeal on the wooden paddle, and just slide it right off on the pizza steel into the oven. So we're just going to stretch this dough out. If you want to use a rolling pin, you can. I'm not good at like turning all that up, and I don't know. Maybe I can do it a couple of times. But I'm afraid it might fall on my head. But you can actually do that if you're good at it. And it stretches the dough and it don't, you know, more you can do it, flip it sideways and up and down, and it kind of stretches your dough out and it keeps it from actually making holes in it. But I'm not that advanced. And these pizzas don't have to be perfectly round like it. The idea of oven baked pizzas Italian, sometimes they're different shapes. They just throw them on there once they get them done. But you want it as thin as you can get it. So if it has a little hole here and there in it, that's fine. It honestly is no big deal. You can knead it back together. If you need to, if it gets a hole in it, because that's the whole ordeal, is make it authentic, make it yours, and make it thin. Because my favorite pizza is a thin crust pizza, like I've been telling y'all. So if you get a hole in it, you just pinch it back together like that and start stretching it the other way. No biggie. It's hard not to get a hole in these where you're making them so thin, but it's easy to fix. So don't fret. Don't think you gotta throw it back away or nothing like that. You just keep stretching it out and get as much out of it as you can. And we want to get these edges so you can kind of pull it both ways around the edges so they ain't thick. But if you want a little bit of edge crust on it, leave it that way. I mean, it's going to be, you'll have your little crust that way. Me and my holes right there. But if you keep throwing it up like that, eventually, and you spin it right, it'll circle around, make a good crust. But I didn't want to show y'all how good I was at, doing that. So we're just going to keep stretching it out here. Move it back over. And when we put our pizza stone in a minute, you'll also, we'll have it shape it a little more. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to get our pizza stone out. We're going to put our pizza on it and get started with this one. This pizza is going to cook extremely quick. I mean fast. So, Hunter, I think it'll give us enough room. Let me put this down here. Another one down here. And we do this the same way. We're going to throw it in there for a minute and pull it back out and put our ingredients on it. Stuff we want. That is hot. So we'll just leave that on there for a few minutes and let it cook and bake. Fill our holes back in, and we'll add our stuff to it a little bit. We can do the same thing on it, a little olive oil. Take your brush it on there real quick. Like that, around. The paddle is the way to go. If you got one of these stones, and they make these stones different. They make one like this, and then they make one that don't have the edge on it. And it's bigger, and you actually just, like I said, take your paddle and slide it straight into the oven right on the steel and straight out, and you can leave the stone in there and it don't raise the heat and lower the heat with it. So anyhow, this is going, if I get a hold of it without burning myself, it's going back in the oven. We're going to take the other one out. As you can see, it's our deep dish one. And look at the difference how the crust is already rised up like that. So, Hunter, let's do this. Put however much sauce you like on it. Show them. We can dump it on there. Yeah, and I'll help you. However much you like. We don't eat a lot of sauce at home. But if you want more, you can put it on there. So we're going to put our sauce on. We want to put on next pepperonis, or that. Let's put a layer of pepperonis on. So then we're going to put our meat on there. Then we're going to add our cheese. A lot of cheese. And we'll put this in the oven and be right back. We're back, and this is our crust this time. Now, if you want to take your time and make them round, you can. I've done it, but most authentic pizzas, I mean, all of them are round. They're just, I mean, that's what they look like. So, but we're going to add a little tomato sauce to it. Pizza sauce. This is a really good pizza sauce. The tomatoes are actually, and it's not expensive. You can get it at Kroger's, but it's an authentic Italian pizza sauce. So, and it smells great. I wish y'all could smell it right now. And if you like more sauce, add it. We're just not a huge sauce fan at all, period. So, pretty simple pizza. This one is some tomatoes. If you had fresh basil, you can put that on it, cut it in ribs and put it on it, but I'm not a real big, we don't have none, so we're not going to have fresh basil on it. But we do have some dried basil, and that'll work flavor-wise. You'll still get the same flavor. So I add my tomatoes. I'm going to add some artichoke hearts that's peeled apart like that, so they cook good. Be done when we get ready to eat it. If you don't like a lot of artichoke hearts, that's fine. I like them, so I'm going to add a few extra here and there. Our next thing, since I have some pancetta left and I like it, I normally don't put it on this pizza, but I'm going to add a little bit of that to it too. So that does that. Now the difference in this pizza and other pizza, we're actually using whole slices of mozzarella cheese. So when it melts, it won't be like a completely covered piece of cheese. You'll have just plots of mozzarella. And so we're going to add some on here like this. Probably cut, what you think, one more, Hunter? Put it in the middle. Think that'd be good?
Yep.
Okay. Now, let's get this back in here without getting burnt. You care to open the oven door for me? Bottom. So we're going to let these two pizzas finish baking. If you have some leftover tomatoes, you can cut them up with some olive oil, salt, pepper, balsamic vinegar, and some Italian seasoning. Serve it with your tomatoes, which we'll do in a minute because we got a crew here that'd probably like eating it. And when we come back, we'll slice pizza and eat. So I'm glad I got to cook with my son on some of the favorite things we enjoy at home to make. Coming in the evenings, just throwing some pizzas together and hanging out's fun. And it's always fun to cook with your kids. And I encourage all y'all out there to find something your kids like, cook it with them, teach them how to cook. I mean, one of these days they're going to be on their own, and kids need to know how to cook. And I can proudly say I eat about anything Hunter makes because he makes some pretty good stuff. So let's get some pizzas out. First one we're getting out is our thinner crust one. And it is actually ready to get out. And that's how it should do if this is right. Just come right off there in a nice thin crust. We'll show it to you in a minute. Our next one coming out is going to be our deep dish one. And it should do the same thing. Should just come right out. So if you see this part of it, and you don't see the rest of it because it's stuck and it can come out. No, I'm joking. Just go around the edge of it. If you got any kind of decent cast iron skillet, it'll come right out. And this is hot. Remember, the oven is 500 degrees. And you all seen that pizza stone when I brought it, or pizza steel. They're about 50 to 70 bucks online. They make different ones. I suggest you get one if you like pizza, because I wish y'all could. I think I can hold it up. Y'all see that crust on that? I mean, it just makes the best crust on the bottom of it. Something that's back, you guys. MTTV has the famous pizza cutters, and if I'm thinking right, September, Customer Appreciation Day.
No.
Annual meeting. Yes. Annual meeting. Come out and get you one, because they're awesome. You'll see how good they work. Now, I like to crush or slice pizza in squares. That's just how we like doing it. And we'll go over a couple of things in a minute before we sound off here and be done. Let's slide this around. A little more working room. So we're going to just try to get it where people can get a little bit of everything. The mozzarella melted good. And that's what I was talking about. You won't get a full cheese spread like you see on this one. You'll get like spots of it. So when we get this one done, we're going to finish it off in some fresh ground salt. Just a little bit on it. Throw a little more basil on top of it like that. If you have fresh basil, this is where you'd add the fresh basil. But this is the same flavor. And that one's done. Now, on our thick crust, we're going to slice it down the middle. And this has, if you remember, if you can see how thick and the sauce and everything is, it's easy, guys. It's, if you want you a good pizza, get you a really good 10-inch cast iron skillet, pizza steel, preheat the oven 500 degrees, let them sit there in there an hour before you ever put the crust in. Put your crust in, pre-bake it for 5 minutes or so, bring it out, put your toppings on it, put it back in, and you're done. So we're going to actually move this over here and slice this into some thinner slices so everybody can get some. And your toppings will go everywhere because there are a lot of toppings on it. So we'll do that one that way. Slide this around. I probably won't try this on camera right now because it's super hot. I might try the edge of it. Let it cool for a second. It's not near as hot as the hot wings that's coming up for the hot wing challenge. We figured that out last week. So, and they're hot. And we'll have the results by the time y'all see this video. The hot wing challenge will be over with and we'll have a new winner. We'll see if John Conley, if you're listening to this, you may be the new winner, you may not when you see this, so we'll have to see. Come out. Leftovers. You have leftover pizza crust, you can easily make cheese sticks. Bake your crust, throw some cheese, garlic, a lot of butter on there, bake it, slice it in strips. If you have leftover mozzarella and tomatoes, slice them up, throw your mozzarella on there. I didn't have no balsamic vinegar today, so olive oil, salt, pepper, basil. Still a good little snack eat with your pizza, and you can use everything again. So remember, MTTV pizza cutters at the annual meeting. Come out and get you one. They're great. We use them here. You can see how well they cut. We want to thank MTTV, Mountain Rural Telephone, for letting us do our show from field to plate with Larry. Thanks joining in today with my son Hunter. This is one of the great things we like to make at home. So we appreciate y'all. Look us up on their TV station. You can go on their website. Down at the bottom have food. Click on it and updated recipes and shows. And stay tuned to Facebook. And we'll be announcing the next shows by week when they're coming on. So thanks. We appreciate y'all. And Hunter, you want to try one? I think it's too hot for you. I'll get this one, it may not be as hot. Good crust and good flavor. So thanks for tuning in.